Hello, I'm Becky Matthews with One-on-One Learning Center. I want to take a few moments to do a quick tutorial on fraction basics. A fraction is only part of an object. That's key to understanding the concept of fractions. We'll start off with the basic thought of a candy bar. A candy bar that is divided into equal parts. So in this candy bar we have one whole candy bar that has parts within that one whole. So let's think about how many parts we have. So we're going to look at that. Let's count our parts. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts. So that is our total amount that we have within this one whole object is 6 parts. So that is the total, or can be called the whole. Now, the part that we're going to remove is this part, just one part. So if we take out one part and we say we give that one part away to our friend. Our friend, we want to share with our friend, we give our friend a piece of it. And the piece we give is one piece. And remember, this is keeping in mind fractions are always equal parts. So the part that we give away is represented on the top of the fraction. So we could think about it as just a piece from our entire object, in this case the candy bar. So that's simple enough. Our friend ate one piece out of 6 pieces of the candy bar. So you could also think about it like this in words: 1 out of 6. So there's just the basic concept of understanding and looking at how to set up a fraction. Now let's look at our next step. The next step is whenever we are trying to then apply what we know about fractions and put it into our operations. And today we're just going to basically look at the addition and subtraction for the purpose of this one tutorial we're doing. So if I have that same candy bar concept and I divide it into equal parts, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, assumingly equal parts. And let's think about this as far as whenever we're going to do addition and subtraction. So we have 6 equal parts, and if we were to then take another candy bar, and remember, whenever you're dealing with fractions, you're dealing with equal parts, even though my drawing definitely is not equal parts and drawn to scale. So we have 2 different candy bars here, and each one has 6 equal parts. So let's talk about these concepts and these operations of addition and subtraction. So if I want to add or subtract whenever I'm dealing with fractions, we need to make them what's called equivalent. And equivalent, when you hear me say the word equivalent, you can hear within that word what sounds like it might be close to the word equal. So whenever you're making your fractions equivalent, they need to be comparable or somewhat equal to one another. And that doesn't mean they're exactly the same. It means that we're looking at, whenever we have the concept of the fraction with the part and the whole, or you could also say the piece and the total. Well, the bottom part of the fraction, the whole part, is where we're looking at the equivalency, and we'll put that over to the side right now as far as our thought process, and we'll deal with that more in another tutorial. But keeping that in mind with addition and subtraction, we're going to move forward and just look at this briefly. So I have these two different candy bars, and each one has 6 pieces. So let's say that I have this first candy bar, we're keeping all 6 pieces. Now let's say, to start out with, that this second candy bar, 2 pieces are removed. So we're going to say 2 pieces are taken away. They're taken out. So that means that 2 out of 6 pieces are taken out of when we had how many pieces? We started with 6 pieces out of 6 pieces. And so if we were to take 2 out of 6 pieces, we did not in no way change how many pieces we had altogether. So this denominator, or bottom number that's on the bottom, it didn't change. But the numerator changed, and so that's all that needs to be subtracted, because we're not changing anything about how many pieces are in this one candy bar other than how many are removed. Okay, so we started out with 6. That's what this bottom number represents. It's how many you have total. So we're going to take our numerator and subtract our numerator, which is our top number. So 6 take away 2, or subtract 2, and we can do our wonderful touch point math here. 6, and we count backwards, 6, 5, 4. And so now we have 4 out of 6 pieces. So we took out these 2 pieces. They were eaten, they were given away, and what we have left is 1, 2, 3, 4 out of those original 6 pieces. So that's the basics of how you would subtract, your basic elementary subtractions of fractions. Now let's look a little bit at the addition. So with the adding, we're going to look again at the candy bar concept, and we're going to divide the candy bar into equal pieces. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. Now, even whenever we are adding fractions, when we're adding those fractions, we still have to keep in mind that we need things to be equal. Things being equal is very important to the concept of fractions whenever you're combining or you're separating them, because that's what your denominator is all about. Your denominator gives you how many parts there in the whole. You know, it tells you how many parts are in the whole. The top part, or the numerator, tells you what part out of that whole you're looking at. So we know that in this situation we have 6 equal parts in this candy bar, and so our 6 is on the bottom. It's the denominator. That's consistent. Now the numerator could be, well, we have 6 pieces out of these 6. We have 6 pieces, and 6 out of those makes it a whole. So I'm looking at that. That's how many I started with. So then if I were to have the same, now the concept here with the adding, you've got to think about, and same with the subtracting, but mostly with the adding, we're going to focus on this for a minute. They have to be the same size, and so we're saying that this is what represents those 6 pieces. So say I've got another candy bar that's broken down the same size, and I get 2 of those pieces, and I add those to what I already have, and then I can save the other ones for later. Well, these 2 pieces right here is what we're wanting to add to this whole candy bar. So I'm going to add those 2 pieces. So we're going to add 2, and remember, that's just the part of it. Now remember, the size of these are still the size of the 1/6, because we've broken this candy bar down into 6 pieces. And so now we've got 6 over 6 plus 2/6. and we add it together and we get 8/6. Because we could use our little concept of touch point math, 6, 7, 8. We get 8/6. Now then, here's where it comes into us looking at this number is what's called an improper fraction. It's not proper. It's not exactly the way we like for it to be. It's just not giving us that nice feeling in math that we like to have where everything is in its place and it just has its correct proportions. So what we could do here is we could leave it at 8/6. We could do that, but we could also then change it into a mixed number. And so we'll talk about that in another tutorial, but keep in mind that this answer right here, your teachers at school might want you to go a step farther than this. This is improper fractions. The purpose of this tutorial was give you a little basic overview of what the meaning of fractions are and how to add and subtract fractions. So hopefully this was helpful, and hopefully this helps you continue on with your homework assignments that you have to do and helping your friends and your students with those. All right, stay tuned and check out the other tutorials and look for more to find out more about fractions and other types of help. This is Becky Matthews with One-on-One Learning Center. Thank you for listening.